Good morning, everyone. I'm here to present to you my report through virtual presentation. So, this is the part five of our book or our subject, the family life. So, part five of our discussion. So, I have here as to open this report as introduction. I have here a picture. So, this is always uh, the picture that comes out to my mind as introduction to this report. So in this picture, there is the team doing something, and the team is doing something, and the team has to work together. And this team cannot work together without one factor that needs to be considered. So that factor is communication. So communication is important as well as in family, we are like a team that we have to work together, and communication is important. According to this book, communication is the heart of the family life. So, without communication, there will be no understanding, there will be no consideration, and there will be no peace and love inside the family. So, this chapter is divided into two. There are two means of communication. So, expressing love and expressing anger. So, according to the textbook, communication, this is the heart of the family, in that family members uh, interact through verbal and nonverbal uh, exchanges uh, to express their core emotions. And by their emotion expressions of love and intimacy, as well as anger and conflict, family members come to know each other in very intimate ways. No, so by anger, expressing anger and love, intimacy is developed, or communication is developed. No, it is basically by communicating and expressing thoughts and feelings that family relationships grow and deepen. So through negative and positive communication within or between family members is developed by love and even by anger. And we can more understand uh, each other by those means. So the first half of this chapter, it talks about the um, expressing love, the way to achieving intimacy. Now, um, feelings are an important dimension of being human, and expression of feelings of love and affection is an essential ingredient in achieving intimacy in family life. So we were created, we were made by God with the feeling that we have, and by expressing this feeling within the family or within the society, you can be more understood, and by hearing or uh, considering the feelings of others, they can also be more understood by us. No, so this is one of the most difficult thing for people to do. So according to some uh, who have studied about family life and in developing intimacy, expressing feelings, though it is essential, but others has their difficulties in doing so. And even if some of us are experiencing difficulties, but we cannot deny the demand that family members must express feelings of love to each other if no, our desire is to achieve intimacy. And as we know that expressing love is just one of the first uh, just one of the divided chapter in this book. Okay, so why is intimacy is desired by every individual? So the book gives us some reason why. Okay, So, according to the writer, because of mechanization, anonymity, and bureaucratization, relationships today are usually conducted on an impersonal levels, resulting to loneliness and alienation. So, as because of the emergence of technology and mechanizations, so it cause uh, it causes it causes loneliness and alienation. And so people desire intimacy because so much of life is impersonal. So as especially for this time of pandemic, uh, there are many means of expressing our feelings which are impersonal, introducing impersonal level. So, in the face of this heartless world, the family becomes a refuge where we can retreat for comfort, care, and intimacy. So, uh, based on the study, the writer suggested that a family has to be the refuge where there is comfort and aside from considering that this is now the present situation of the society, intimacy is desirable because uh it is kanang design. It is the original original design ni God para sa family to be intimate. So in Genesis chapter 2 verse 24 to 25, the Bible says, that is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. 25, Adam and his wife were both naked and they felt no shame. That's in Genesis chapter 2, verse 24 to 25. So, intimacy is desirable in marriage and family relationship, not only as a refuge from the impersonality of society, but of course, it is a reflection of the biblical idea. No? So, not only we consider the human feelings towards the society, but of course, because this is the reflection of God's intention to the family. No, so God intends the family to be haven where we are able to express our feelings openly with each other without shame and embarrassment. So, because in the society, children can be bullied or anything that they're experiencing, but family has to play as haven, no, for all those who are uh, murag deprived gani sa society. So, ang ilang refuge is of course the family. So, expressing feelings of love. So, expressing feelings of love, we all know that in the whole world, there, no matter kung sa mga language ang gigamit, no? So, there is the very common phrase ang gina-utter sa mga tao. That is the phrase, I love you, no? So, according to the writer, the phrase I love you is the most effortless and most pleasurable phrase for us to say to those we love, but are actually very difficult for most people to utter. So it is the very desire for people to know that someone loves them, and it is experienced, might be personally to you or to other individuals. Okay, so someone says the supreme happiness of life consists in the conviction that one is loved. So I don't know for those married classmates if it is experienced, but I surely believe that this means a lot for them. So in expressing love, that becomes in expressing love, there are effects of expressing. Oh, and we will know the reason why we have to express this. Now, why is it important to express? Now, first of all, it benefits the person who makes the gestures. Now, so when we express love, first of all, you consider yourself uh, or the benefits. Who is the first beneficiary in doing this? not the one the person nga imong gi-expressan, kundi ikaw mismo nga nag-express. It gives you freedom, it gives you joy, and it gives you satisfaction diya sa imong kaugalingon. So that's one of the reason why expressing love is important. So it is said that it is physically and psychologically unhealthy to keep one's feelings bottled up. So it contributes your psychological aspect nga may mong healthy when you are expressing what is inside of you, no? Psychologically holding in emotions can result in losing touch with one's entire being. No? So that's why in expressing love, know the benefits diya sa imong kaugalingon first of all. And secondly, in expressing love, no, uh, this is to affirm the persons we love. So it is satisfying to know and to experience that you are affirmed sulod sa family or even outside the family, even to the circle of friends or even to the church family. When you feel no being affirmed through love, there is the satisfaction and there is the the kanang drive to do more or to be more functional in performing life or in performing task inside the family. Nang inside the family, um, inside the family, those persons we love to hear the word of affirmation, which is love. No, so human beings need to hear and receive overt, no, overt meaning dayag, no, overt expressions of love from the time they are born until the day they die. No, so yeah, from the birth until the day of their death, persons, no, the entire life nila, ang ilang ginalong always is love. And una siya, okay, first of all, kita nga nag-express ang naka-benefit ani. And second is to affirm the persons we love. And number three, no, number three is it is essential to the relationship. So friendship, church relationship, or sa inside the family, or any relationship, expressing love towards those we love can develop and can give more courage for them to perform or to do more about it. So let us also remember that communication or in expressing, it needs to be two-way. So it's not healthy relationship kung isa lang ang nag-effort, isa lang ang nagpaningkamot. So both parties have to do something in reciprocating, no? In reciprocating the love that is expressed towards him or her, no? So because it results to negative, um, mahimong negative ang result kung isa lang. So this is one of thing at I consider. Lack of emotional sharing develops into a pattern of stifled communication. Una nga, kung dili mabalusan, kumbaga, but we know that expressing love, we don't need to expect returns. We have to share this because biblically, what you do unto others will be done unto you. No, so remember. And second, a family member who expresses feelings and never gets any feedback will begin to express less and less. So no wonder na kung ang isa lang ang nag-express, walay reciprocate o wala gi-reciprocate na yung gihimo. So there will be no courage anymore. The drive is mahimong less and less until the relationship dies. And intimacy depend very much on reciprocity. So that's why I told earlier that when we don't know how to reciprocate the feeling we receive, uh, it will kanang mag-lead into a miserable relationship. Okay? Okay, so according to Lao Tzu, being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. So this experience, this is common experience of human being who loved and is loved. No, so being loved, it gives us strength, and loving gives us courage to perform life better, especially inside the family. So we'll go to the two uh, means of expressing love. First, the nonverbal the nonverbal expression of love. So a person might have difficulties in expressing love, but there are different means or way of expressing it. No, so first is body language. So in body language, your feeling is can be so this is the first nonverbal expressions of love, that is body language, which we can do proximity, touch, eye contact, and protective gestures. And second is the physical touch or the physical, physical actions. So there is patting and there is hug and holding hands. No? That's physical actions. And symbolic gestures. Now, symbolic gestures includes uh, doing household chores, giving flowers, no, serving drinks or serving food, and number four or the fourth is writings. So others express their love by poems, writing poems or spoken words. Others will do will compose songs, and others will do singing to express their loved ones that they love them. So that was the first means of expressing love, the nonverbal way of expressing it. So next, body language, physical actions, and symbolic gestures are ways to communicate with others, but they lack the degree of preciseness which characterizes verbal communication. So let us always remember that body language, as what we have in the slide, they lack the degree of preciseness. No? But next, body language can be misread. No? So pwedeng malahi ang mahuna-una sa tao. Physical expressions can be misinterpreted. No? So so physical expressions can be misinterpreted and symbolic expressions may conjure up suspicion. So symbolic gestures pilit ang pag doing the household chores. So it can be misinterpreted. So like for example, basig nakasa ni siya and so that's why he or she is doing like this. So consider the degree, no? The degree of the thing you're doing before them. Next is verbal expressions of love. So verbal expressions, it is the thing, the production of things natang ginabuhat, and not only in action, but this expressed in both action and words. The two advantages of verbal expressions is the preciseness and personalness. So through verbal communication, feeling of love and affection are communicated more completely, personally, and precisely. So based on the experience of the writer or the study, this is the observation. Uh, in our age, so inside the family, it is somehow obvious, no, to be verbal in expressing the love. It can be more comprehended. It can be comprehended more completely, personally, and precisely. So that's the advantage of being verbal in your expressions sa love. So it says the depth of dimensions of love are communicated by body language, physical actions, symbolic gestures, and writings, and verbal communication. Although all expressions of love are important, no? So wala tayo gingan nga mo i-discriminate, no? They are all important, but the verbal message is the most likely to be accurate and to enhance intimacy. So as I have told earlier, that the design of God towards family is to be intimate. So verbal and non-verbal are both complementary and supplementary for each other. So we have to express this both and to deliver our expressions accurately before the persons inside the family or even friends or even inside the church. No. So in expressing love, like in our walk with the Lord Jesus Christ, there are obstacles. No. So there are obstacles in expressing them. So first is fear. No. Fear. Second is potential for embarrassment. Third is the amount of time that is entailed. Fourth, they are not in touch with their feelings. Fifth is traditional cultural expectations. Okay, so this we have to discuss it little by little sa isa-isa nila. So first, fear. Why fear? No, the obstacle of expressing love. Number one is fear. Why fear? So fear is one reason why family members do not express love to each other. No, so we begin to fear that our expression of love will be rejected, ignored, and acknowledged, or worst of all, unrequited. So sometimes we know that we have this kind of feelings, but sometimes we are fear. We are afraid, no? We are afraid of expressing it because we are afraid nga dili siya ma-recognize, ma-reject siya, ma-ignore lang siya, or dili siya ma-acknowledge. And worst of all, may mong unrequited ang ato ang pag-express na ni. So we know both male and female can have this obstacle, being afraid of expressing because say kumbaga yung sila advance mag-isip. So do not uh, overthink of things. Just express and express and express without reservation or limitation. Second is potential for embarrassment. Now, so potential for embarrassment. Why there is potential for embarrassment? So when a person expresses love, sometimes, especially in merging to other uh, communities, they have their different tradition in expressing love and in everything. So, like for example, if the means of learning nowadays is face to face, we could have met in the VNBC. So we know that the institution accepts students from different areas, not only in the Philippines, but even international students nag-abot. So sometimes, in expressing love, we consider na basin lahi ang ilahang culture. Of course, there are different cultures that sometimes our way of expressing love, we think nga basig ma-embarrass lang ko, basig this style is not sa ilahang inani ana. So it affects to every individual in expressing their love because every community has their own pattern of expressing love. But again, let us not limit, let's not overthink kung siya itong ginahimo, do this with love. And third is the amount of time that is entailed. So the obstacle of expressing love, the third is the amount of time that is entailed. No, so because of the short time together, so there is the limited time. So their self is limited also in expressing. And number four, they are not in touch with their feelings. Now are hindered others are hindered with being uncertain of what they are feeling. So others gani sometimes naminyo na sila, and then ana na nga time nga naminyo na ilang maingon nga maingon nga sa una, no, dili pa sila sure, pero naging sure daw sila pag time nga naminyo na. So how can we be much prepared for the family life when we're uncertain of what we had before? So importantly, makanker nato na nga obstacle. No? So fifth is traditional cultural expectations. So commonly males, no, especially for males. No? So culturally, we are na culture kita nga males are not that expressive because they have to be masculine. And sometimes expressing feelings, expressing love, affected sa traditional setup and sa cultural expectations sa mga tao. Like males, unsa may tradition, traditional culture nga gi-expect sa mga lalaki, no? So, nga gi-expect sa mga tao towards sa mga lalaki. No, so according to the book, boys in our society come to value so-called expression of masculinity and to show expressions of femininity. They are taught that love, tenderness, and gentleness are feminine. When a young boy expresses emotions through crying, his parents are often quick to assert, "You're a big boy, and big boys don't cry," or "Don't be such a sissy." No, so nga sometimes when boys are trying to express their feelings, emotions, they are stopped because of traditional culture. Nga ay ang laki din na muhilak, no? Ang laki yun ni ana. So the way they have their self-control, murag nahimo nga tradition nga laki dili mo hilak, laki dili na ni anak kay tagon kag bayot or whatever. Expressing your feeling or the love that is in you, no, so we have to think nga important ni sulod sa family. So tradition and culture should not be the reason ang isa ka tawo ma-deprive ang iyang right to express, no, because as community is concerned, again, traditional can sometimes change the mindset sa tao. So muna nga maglisod, no. So not only in the families nga yun ang traditional culture expectations para sa mga boys, but even in movies, no, televisions and advertising, the male image does not usually include affection and soft-hearted behavior. So it is not only na butang sa family setup or even society, but even sa mga movies, televisions as mentioned above. No, so those five things are some of the things, no, nga nahimong obstacle sa pag-express sa love towards family members or even to the community, no, or even to the church, no. Next is the expression of love in parent and child relationship. Sorry. The emotional bond between a child and parent is the most important factor in the development of a child. So emotionally, di ba, as what we have experienced, as we grow, our development is based on sa atong nakita po sa itong parents. and not only sa ato ang perception but even in emotional aspect, no? So when with the emergence of industrialization, the household was separated. Fathers were given the responsibility of working outside the home, while mothers were given the responsibility of caring for children within the home. So based on the observation sa manisagad ang nahitabo, pag-abot sa industrialization, uh, fathers were not that close sa mga bata. So commonly, ang makita sa mga bata is si mama always mothers. And so when as we observe, no, when the children has their kanang physical difficulties, commonly they called mama, no. Mama, wala ko yung inani or mag-study. During sa imong study, sometimes some children, ang ilang nga i-approach is, ma, wala ko yung ballpen, ma, wala ko yung papel. Or, yeah, there are many things, no? So, ato makita nga, muna siya, because of the nag-evolve nga technology po sa kalibutan, part po na siya sa nakahimo nga problema sa parents and child relationship. And children, boys, girls come to have different capacities for expressiveness because of their parents' role modeling and expectations. No, so nga it it is murag great contribution, no, sa behavior sa mga bata sud sa bay, malaki ug mababay, no, because sa mga laki ang ilang gimodel is si father, and sa mga babay ang ilang ginamodel is si mother, no. So muna nga there is uh, nagkalahi-lahi na capacity for expressiveness ng sa feelings. So nang kung atong may namduman nga, so it matters diya sa upbringing sa mga bata, no. So ang pagmodel sa parents, emotional and in all aspects sa kinabuhi. Okay, next, the expression of love in marriage, no. When it comes to expressing love in marital relationship, men face a dilemma. On the other hand, society teaches that to be masculine is to be inexpressive. On the other, marriage requires a sharing of affection and companionship, the ability to communicate and express feelings. So if you observe, there is underlined part in nga point, no. Men face a dilemma when it comes to expressing love in marital relationship. So I don't know in those who are married, if you observe this with your husband, so you can tell some experiences unta, no. But because of this limited setup, so we are kanang hindered po na. So yeah, no, so based on sa atang niagi nga gi-discuss nga slide, nga because of the role modeling sa parents, so man face a dilemma in that part, no. The greater the expression of positive feelings between husband and wife, the better adjusted the marriage, no. So the greater the expression, no, the greater the expression of positive feelings between a husband and wife. So when there is greater expression of positive feelings between, no, sa marital relationship, mas mahimong mapanindot ang marriage, no. Great dissatisfaction and problems are likely to emerge when there is an imbalance in the amount of self-disclosure. So we have to remember this always, no. Masingle ka man karon or minyo na ka, no. So this consideration is important for us to understand, no. So because sometimes women, I don't know if this is much kanang nagduol sa tinuod. But women are sometimes nakagreklamo sa mga men, sa ilang man, tungod kay yun ana. But actually, ladies, no, they are also struggling how to express themselves towards the relationship. Na nga, instead of complaints, you better pray for those married na, pray for your husband, and for those na wala pa, pray for someone that is emotionally uh, aware nga, mentally aware nga in a relationship, it is important. No? So factors which work against a wife's being open and sharing. So anong nahitabo maning na inyo ani? So maybe it is observed no nga ang mga babae gyud ang sagad expressive gyud sila nga feelings which ang mga boys dili. So mo ni ang mga factors nga atong i-consider. Boys, no, let's men, we are not boys anymore. Now men, please consider this observation. Mo ni siyang possible nga mga factors no ngano ang girls no ang mga ang women so maluya in their expression sa ilang love towards men. So first is love, expression of love is not reciprocated. So again, I have mentioned in mga niaging slide na communication should be two-way, as well as in sharing love and affection should be two-way. Not because we showed atong gipakita ni and then ipakita freely, not because we also demand something in return. But of course, we have to be sensitive na relationship won't work as long as it is reciprocated well, no? So that's one, expression of love is not reciprocated. And second, the level of vulnerability. And number three, the birth of a child. No, so not the birth itself, but when the wife no will bear child and then mataw na ang bata, of course no usa na sa mga butang nga when the husband is inexpressive, now ang mother adto na lang siya sa bata because the child can cater her need of kanang sa emotional need niya, no, ang dili mahimo sa papa nga pag-reciprocate sa love or sa expression of love can be done when the child is growing na. We have to consider this. And number four, wives may also become less expressive of tender feelings in a bid for power in their marriage. Now, instead of love ang magkuan, so murag power na lang hinuon ang nahimo nga nag-push nga yun ani ana. So those are the factors suggested in his book which actually realistically observable within the society. So last is the biblical model of expressiveness. Now in John chapter 21, verse 15, and so next mga verses, so there was the conversation of Jesus and Peter. So that scenario of Jesus and the disciples. So this conversation of Jesus and Peter, how it connects to intimacy, no, or in expressing love that result to in. So this biblical text or this Bible text is telling us the scenario which Jesus sulti siya ni Peter how many times niya gina-ask si Peter kung gihigugma ba gyud siya ni Peter. And Peter said, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." And by here, we can see Jesus initiating to Peter, initiating the relationship, that Peter should express his love towards Jesus mismo. Na nga in this conversation, we can see how Peter responded to Jesus' words, and we know the purpose of Jesus of telling that to Peter. So publicly, his denial was uh, known sa mga tao, and here Jesus gave him the chance to give the reason, or to say something sa iyahang klase nga gugma nga nasa ni Jesus. Now, in conclusion, sa ato ang matag usa ka life, sa family life, or sa marital relationship, so ato makita nga to be expressive is demanded if we desire for a family life nga functional. Now, it starts from the love and affection sunod sa family. So, love is the heart of the family. One of consider na to nga heart sa family nga mag-drive sa matag usa to function better, to do tasks better, and to cooperate better. And it is developed through communication. So expressing our feelings and affection, it helps our family members understand us better and consider us better. And likewise, by their expression of love, we can understand them and we can consider them in the best way. Not just considering our personal thinking or emotions, but considering that they also have that feeling or affection na need po nila. So let us be sensitive in one another inside the family, that expressions, both verbal and non-verbal, are effective. They are complementary and supplementary towards one another. So let us develop a family life that is functional uh, through developing intimacy by good and healthy communication, expressing love, and the next topic follows on developing communication sa family. So this is all. This is how I end my report. So God bless, and may you be in the Lord Jesus Christ always, and His love will fill your desires, and may His grace be upon us always. God bless.